Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, be it Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever you choose to listen to us. Welcome to Tap 117. I'm Declan Carroll. I'm joined by Luke Keena. Luke, thanks very much for giving me a dig out tonight. Andy's obviously he's nipped off to the block and throw over in London, so he hasn't made it at home in time. But too big a meeting to miss for jump fans. Really, the start of the jump season for me. What about you? Will you be attending over the 2 days?
I was tempted to go tomorrow, but I'm actually now in work, so we'll see about Wednesday. But yeah, sure, big shoes to fill here with Andy, but sure, we'll try and pick out a few decent winners.
Yeah, you mean men don't get over the Punchestown much, and it's kind of it's the same the other way as well. I'm looking at you, Brian Healy. You wouldn't see Brian over at Fairley House, but I bumped into you at Fairley House on Saturday. But not a fan of crossing the
Yeah, sure.
border.
We made it to Fairyhouse on Saturday anyway.
That's it. We do have a slight delay, folks. Lukey's got the new 5G in. He tells me FIFA is rapid on it, but there's definitely a bit of a delay in here. But I think we'll jump into it, Lukey. Oh, hang on a minute. Such an amateur. I forgot something. Can't be a tapping at the bar music in the background. Right. We'll jump into it. Fourth race on the card Tuesday, 2:05. Download the William Hill app, 3-year-old hurdle. Obviously for 3-year-olds, 13,500, 2 miles, 46 yards. They're tricky this time of year, but I always think the form can be worth following in the spring, especially someone that might have been put away on heavy winter ground. We've Cinnamon Cocoa in here, but he did win really well. But the form of the maze probably not working out that well, but it was fairly bloodless, the victory. The form of High Hopes flip-flopped. High Hopes has to give £4 to Cinnamon Cocoa here. But what way do you see it? Do you see anything outside of those two?
Yeah, as you're saying, that these two have met a few times and they've kind of flip-flopped between each other, beating each other. Cinnamon Cocoa was good up the north last day. It was just, I didn't like the way he jumped out to his left, and he won't get away with that as much at Punchestown, especially if they're on the inside. There's a few flat horses making their debut over fence, and we all know, in the 3-year-old Spear, we all know how much I'd love Dal Rifa on Champions Weekend, and I see his half brother is in here. Superficial for Andy McNamara. I'd probably just chance him. He ran well in a handicap at the Stowe last day, and he didn't get a clear run. He was down at the bend turning in and met a bit of traffic. Finished just behind Secret Force on that day. There was half a length between them. I thought going over hurdles here, like he saw the 1.5 miles at Listow very well. I think he might be a nice little recruit to the jumping spear for Andy McNamara. Ted Walsh has Adrian in here, who has a similar enough rating on the flat to the other two. She has nothing on her back here with Shane Callan taking off £5. She might be one to watch going forward, but I'd just be superficial at the prices here.
Yeah, we met Shane on Saturday, but he didn't give us the nod on that one anyway. But I suppose we never asked either, did he?
No.
We should have been popping the question. Look, I don't have a massive opinion on her. Sorry, Lukey. So I'll follow you in on Andy Max there. Superficial was around 12-1. We will move on to the 2:35, the William Hill Challenge Series handicap hurdle for 4-year-olds and up 2 miles 46 yards. We have the infamous jouster in here. He's caused us a lot of heartache and a good bit of fun last year. I see he's sharing trainers now. He's now with who did I say earlier? Flynn. We might see him coming down the handicap a little bit before racking up a sequence. I reckon he's definitely a nice horse. Walking the sea in here, Ian Dunhu's 5-year-old mare. She's off since March, dropped back to 2 miles. I would imagine, with I struggled with this race, Luke, and if I was to pick one, I'd half chance Coquito Bello. Argue the best form was in the maiden that was ran over 2 miles 6, but only be 5 lengths on handicap debut over 2 miles doesn't strike me as wanting that down trip of 2 miles 6. This is 2 miles. It was a poor run at Galway, which is kind of, it kind of put me off a little bit, but probably the only one I'd give a half chance to see. But what way do you see this one working out?
There's a few of these that have clashed before. We had the race down in Goran, and we had Barami Creek and Eastmore when they last clashed in the Stole. It was in the Stole, yeah. I like that Goran form of watching the clock. I thought he was good last day. He went off 16-1. She's only a 4-year-old filly. You can see why she's at the top of the market. But I'd actually be chancing the one that came down at the first that day of Dairy Force. There was a bit of carnage in that race. The horse went out through the rail that was in front, and it was just a bit of a domino effect in behind, and Dairy Force gave Darragh O'Keefe no chance. Darragh O'Keefe has stuck with him today. He's only a 6-year-old. He's carrying 11-4. I think he's on a nice mark. Like he won his maiden hurdle at Quebegan last year before going on to Tremor over 2.5 miles. I didn't think he stayed that day over 2.5 miles. Back down to 2 miles, and there was a bit of money knocking around for him in Goran. Like he's 25 and 16s from the opening price or the show on the day. I thought he was on a workable mark here for the maiden hurdle he won last year. Might have been the strongest form, but he had Arena's Pat in behind. I thought back to 2 miles, Darragh O'Keefe's kept the faith, rated 102, and I thought 16-1. That was kind of a big price.
No, we'll have a bit of that. As I said, I'm not overly keen on Coquito Bello. It was kind of a process of elimination for me, and I'm still only, there's no real conviction in my selection. So, you sound keen enough on Dairy Force, Luke, so we'll be happy to go with that. We will move on to the 305. William Hill committed the proper value hurdle 4-year-old, 2 miles, 2 furlongs, 197 yards. Do you punt with William Hill? Would you agree they're committed the proper value? Sounds like something Conor McGregor would say.
Yeah, proper 12.
We won't play that tune.
No, we won't.
No. It looks an interesting race on paper, Luke, but for me, it's just an open and showcase. Glenkiln on the ratings, it looks an absolute tap-in. 6-year-old was clear the last day at Tipperary in the Grade 3. Do you see any different?
No, like he was running away with that race when he came down to the last. He was nearly just going a bit too fast down to the last, and it was more so the speed just got rid of Brian Hayes. He was fairly pulling away from Gouger, who just fell in to win it. Smooth Thomas gave him £10, and he's rated £3 inferior to him. I just see this being one-way traffic.
Yeah, definitely. Like he actually opened odds against Taylor. I raged and I didn't get stuck in because he's 4 to 6 now, and I think it just keeps shortening. It looks an absolute tap in for him. So we will move on to the 335. Play final one standing by William Hill and Maiden Hurdle. 4-year-olds and up, 2.5 miles. I think it's a poor enough renewal. Reiki Revolution rated 112. It's had 5 goals. Normally I'd be keen to take one on, like with that sort of profile, but I don't see an awful lot to have a go at him, and it's kind of it's not really giving much away tonight. But to be honest, I've no interest in this race, Philip. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd be fairly similar now, to be honest. This isn't particularly strong. Like, you're looking for an angle to take on the favourite here, but you're just not seeing one in. Like he started off winning his bumper for Shark before going on to Philip Rotwell, and Philip was probably unlucky not to get him a win in his maiden. He is probably jumping, let him down the last twice, and he's been placed. Comes in with a rating of 112. You nearly think that would be good enough to win this.
Yeah, it should be. It should be. But again, look, I don't think it's a maiden we'll be talking too much about later on in the season. So we will move on to the 405 William Hill each way extra challenge series handicap hurdle. It's a 0 to 100 over 2.5 miles. This is the stuff we like. This is proper tap stuff now. It's worth rushing through those first few races for this. There's 2 on my short list, but there's one I'll be just keeping an eye on for the next day. Raj Nathan, rated 79, unseated when hampered at Clonmel, too early in the race to say I'm going to see a lot of improvement, because I'd been off for 2 years, but I'll be hoping to see this horse run well, and if they can run well and keep that rating of 79, it could be very interesting the next day. County Graduate, she was off for almost 2 years when she was heavily punted into favour at Gowran last week. She was found to be coughing after the poor run. First time blinkers go on. She's rated 84, but I will be a little bit afraid of her now. But the one I really like here is West of Ignis. Was better than midfield, briefly for the first time in his career on handicap debut. Has tried further than this in maidens. I'm expecting a big improvement here for a horse that's picked up a rating of 98. It's probably just better than a lot of days. But what way do you say, Luke?
Yeah, it's tricky. This is more your bread and butter than mine. Now, I've had to spend plenty of time going back through these. As I said to someone earlier on, I spent more time looking into these races than I have my fucking leaving cert. But here we are. I was going to chance Dermot McLaughlin's Massive BL. Like, things haven't gone to plans for her since she's joined Dermot. Like, she was 4th on handicap debut for Prunella Dobbs on her last run last October, and she just hasn't lifted a leg since. She's dropped 8 pounds. Like, she's down to 84. I think that's tempting enough, considering there was that bit of spark at Limerick last year. They've reached for the tongue tie cheek piece combination here. She has 5 pounds taken off here from Paddy O'Brien. I think she could go well there. She's about 16 to 1. I'd happily take a chance on her at that price. Like, she's been well punted a few times, and I wouldn't be surprised if she was again tomorrow with the tongue tie and cheek pieces on.
Nice one. There's two at big odds. What you say? Yours around 16 to 1.
Yeah, in around that.
Yeah, Massive BL and West of Ignis was about 33 to 1 still available. So I would be, personally, I'd be a little bit worried about County Graduate, but I'll be there tomorrow. I might have if there's still a nice price around, I might small bet on West of Ignis on track. We will move on to the feature of the entire 2 days. 436 William Hill each way extra challenge series handicap hurdle, 2 miles 7 furlongs and 22 yards. Obviously, I have a lot of emotional interest in this race, as it looks like Gandana is finally going to return. He last ran in Marker Racing in July. He's been off 80 odd days. People ask me, how's he going to run? It looks like his kind of trip. He's getting his ground, but like, in my opinion, he's a horse who's always he's taking a run off a layoff, and I can see him travelling really well, and maybe take the blow and running on, and look, I'm obviously hoping he run into the money, but you just don't know. He's getting a little bit older as well. But I think it's important to point out, Rising Dust was toward the Gandana off 96 last year. Now Gandana beat him 6 lengths. It was in his down 6 lengths, but he was shamed by Michael Horgan. He was dropped an awful lot. He's now with Emma Mullins. He's at 2 runs. We have to give him £12 tomorrow. He's a horse who looks like he's on an upward curve. What did I say? We gave him £6 last year. We're giving double that now. Like, when horses are, on an upward curve, Emma Mullins, they can rack up a sequence. And I did originally think it was quite a winnable race, but I think that's going to be very difficult off a layoff to give that horse £12 and beat him. But what way do you see this one working out, Luke?
I'd be hoping that your lad is going to give you a good run anyway. Good luck with him tomorrow. But yeah, as you're saying, Rising Dust, like, he got £12 for the last day. That mightn't be enough to stop him, but like, he's 7 to 2 at the same time, and as you're saying, it's probably one of the most competitive races that'll be run over the 2 days. I'd probably just chance the Smith's horse, Moon Over Clover. more known as a chaser in recent times. He was second in the Blazers last year. His last, and he runs off £10 lower hurdle mark here. They're reaching for the first time blinkers. I think that will help him. He ran well the last day to finish fourth over his trip. That's probably just on the sharp side for him nowadays. And he drops down to the 0 to 120 bracket for the first time over hurdles in a long time. I think he's a big price there at 12 to 1. I could see him being one that attracts a bit of support there tomorrow and goes off a lot shorter than 12 to 1. I think he'll run well there with first time blinkers.
Yeah, me and have a clue. He's a horse I've had a lot of time for, and he's ran a lot of very nice races. Race worth a lot of money, a lot of summer nationals, and
he was third in Quebec this year, wasn't he?
Was he? Yeah. Like he's been quite a nice horse to follow, and as you said, obviously just touched off in the Blazers.
Yeah, last year in the Blazers.
Yeah. Now look, he is one that I went back to look at a couple of times, but I do find it difficult to analyse races that Geraint is going to run in, because you are so emotionally involved. But yeah, looking forward to heading down there. Won't get down there too early. They have to send the young to school after ratted us out on racing TV last year, so we get down there in time for the race anyway, and look, we'll enjoy it as we always do, and hopefully look, he comes home safe. That's all we can ask. So we will move on to the 5:10, the Irish Stallion Farms ADF Mares. That race, bumper obviously, 2 miles 46 yards. Luke, I'm going to pass this one straight over to you, because I never even couldn't tell you who's running it.
I was going to pass it straight back at you, so I think that's a sign that we should move on to Wednesday.
I'm happy enough with that. We'll move on to Wednesday, where which is the big day of the meeting, and we have the 2 graded chases. But we'll start off with the 155 Bet Victor maiden hurdle of €12,000, 2 miles 95 yards. When I first looked at this, Luke, I thought the race was revolving around 2 horses, Game Ball and Covannis. Game Ball was a bumper winner for Andy Slattery back in July, and he certainly seems to have had a nice team of bumper horses, and he's picked up a lot of them. They're obviously all for sale. And Covannis won a bumper on the 28th at Leopardstown last year. The 3rd horse won a maiden since. Covannis ran down the field at Easter, like he was well behind Sortudo and Sortasco. Although they're 2 really nice horses that he was beating about 50 or 60 lengths, so I'm not going to say, follow that form or anything. But the one that caught my eye as I moved down the card then was Vittorio Peel, and he won a bumper at the Punchestown Festival. There was a couple of nice mares in there. Brosnan Queen was in there. There's another one that I just can't think of right now, but I think this could be a nice enough horse now, and he's probably my idea of the winner. What way did you see it?
Yeah, I agree there with Vittorio Peel. I thought he was very good in Punchestown. There's a bit of money around from the day, and there was never really any doubt in the bumper that day. I would say about Covannis, though, I'd say he'll enjoy the better ground. I think he just never went to yard the last day in Farius and soft to heavy ground. I'd say he's better than that, but he's going to have to be a lot better to get near Vittorio Peel here. Like, I wouldn't say he's going to be much of a price, but I think he'll just win.
Yeah, okay. Look, potential nap of the top material there in the maiden hurdle, the opener on Wednesday. So we will move on to the 2:30 Callahan Aluminium supporting Maidhunt Mares handicap hurdle. There's 2 I really like in here, and I can't see past them. I'm struggling to split them. Spick and Span. She was behind Queen of the Lodge and Colin Danu. It was a tap we covered. At Clonmel, we covered it. She was ahead of Fleet A, the John Ryan horse. Fleet A's gone and followed up since. Where was it? Was it Gowden or Tipperary? Tipperary. Look, the horses ran 22 times, and she's only won her maiden 3 runs back. It's the only victory of her life, but like that form, we were keen on Queen of the Lodge, Colin Danu and Fleet A. that day, and she was mixed in between them there. The other one I like is your broken saying another horse we talked about recently, owned by the farmers. 6 lengths second. The last run over hurdles, and that was over 2 miles. I always thought she needed a little bit further, but she's 4 pound lower now. She's going to be really tough to beat. I'd have it between the two of them. I'm struggling to split them, but maybe you can make me mind up, Luke, or maybe you've looked elsewhere.
I wouldn't be able to split them two for you. I'm going elsewhere. I like Peter Fahey's top way here. Love her own. I think you were keen on her in Listow, were you?
Who was it?
Love her own.
I was, yeah, but yeah.
I know she let you down that day. But I
typical women, man. Oh, I lost you.
Yeah, I just don't think she stays over the 2.5 miles. Like, she's back down to 2 miles here. She ran well at Galway on her penultimate start over the 2 miles, finished 6th. It was a close 6. It was only really late on that she got headed. I think around here she'll be able to just get out in front, hopefully not be pegged back. Like, she has plenty of ability. She's been dropping down the handicap and has looked like a horse that was going back in herself this year. But she just showed that bit of spark at Galway that probably brought you in at Listow, and it's going to bring me back in here, back over 2 miles.
I think she ran quite well for a long way at Listow, didn't she?
Yeah, it was around the 2 furlong post. She just dropped out.
Yeah. But no, I decided to look elsewhere, and no, I even though you're making a good case there, I'd still struggle to split Big and Span and your Burke and Sing. So we move on to the 305. The festival 2026 tickets on sale, handicap hurdle. Jesus, lad, you're getting like Cheltenham. You're putting the prices up by the minutes, you know. There's only really one I like in here, and like our lad, he wants a bit of decent ground, and he's trained by the same trainer as Joint Haystacks. He won a competitive handicap hurdle at Leopardstown at Christmas. You know, no mean feat. They take a lot of winning, as you know. It was on the 28th. The second, Court Cave, I think it was, has followed up since. Is off since July, the same as Keondana now. So, I like the horse was entered last week as well. I have no idea if he's going to take a run or not, but I think this race is probably more winnable than ours. It might be that might be the double over the 2 days, Keondana and Joint Haystacks from the same stable, the layoff double. But what way do you see it, Luke?
I thought this was quite competitive. You've Captain Ryan Matt dropping back in to the handicap company after finishing behind Davy Crockett down the Stowe. Fortunate Lighting was a winner 2 runs ago. But the one I fell on was the course and distance maiden hurdle winner for last year, Rocky Mountain Blue for Philip Rotwell. He ran some good races in the field last year and decent novice races without really threatening the judge. Then he made his handicap debut in Ballinrobe right at the end of last year and was bet 6 lengths. He was right with them jumping 2 out. But I just don't think he stayed over the 2 miles 6. Drops back down to the intermediate trip 2.5 miles here. He drops a band 2 in the handicap. He's down into this band. I thought he'd go close. I think he'd be a decent price too. Like, he's only a 7-year-old, hasn't much miles on the clock. I thought he'd be bang there.
Right. Well, Andy may not be here tonight, but he's certainly here in spirit. But the medium of Luke, because Andy might have talked for 20 minutes about that horse. Personally, I did think he could be quite a nice horse, but did he finish second in a maiden or something? He's probably been flattered by that, and I don't think he's as good as he showed he could be that day. Who was he? He was second to. He chased.
He won his maiden hurdle here last year, beating Sounds Victorious.
Yeah, I just, that wasn't real form for me, and I think his form proved that now since, and I've gone quite cold on him, but I know Andy would have talked me for 15 minutes, so Yeah, it's Luke and Andy for Rocky Mountain Blue, and I'm going to take the chance that Brian Haystacks is fit enough to go and win this. We'll move on to the first of the graded actions, 335, left picker, novice stable chase, worth 30 grand, 2 miles, 2 furlongs, and 75 yards. I'd imagine King of Kingsfield will set the market here. Luke rated 143 on paper. He looks the winner. Been improved through the summer. Maybe a little bit disappointing the last day. Good to see I'm for Home entered here, making his chase debut, rated 77 over hurdles. How many runners will he? Is he guaranteed some prize money? No.
There's 6
No,
runners.
he is guaranteed prize money.
Whip around there, get a few quid.
Yeah, the trainer's done this before, and I Leopardstown a couple of times, and in the likes of the Irish Arkle or PJ Moriarty, and can't remember the name of the horse, but got a big cheer when he finally crossed the line. 20
You can whip around here and finish 6 and get 600 quid.
Oh, Jesus. I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's worth it. And imagine damaging that mark is 77. You'll never get that mark. You'll never get that again.
Finishes 3rd here, he gets £40.
What would you do? Well, the one I'm tempted to give a chance to here is War Correspondent. Has had 2 chase starts. Disappointing the last day. Last chase run, getting weight, but beating you ought to know, and the Cock Hardy. And maybe you could have said they were trying their absolute hardest that day, but they both ran in the Kerry National. But I thought he was good when he beat them, and I think if he puts in a performance like that, I think he could be good value here, because King of Kingsfield can, although he looks like he's got his act together over fences, he can be hard to trust. But what way do you see it, Luke?
Oh, we trust in the King here.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing the prices here. Birdie or Bust is 11 to 10. I don't think that's very appealing. King of Kingsfield comes in here 7 to 4. Yeah. That's fairly tight now. Yeah, I think at 7 to 4, King Kingsfield is a decent price. Obviously he's done well over fences this year. As you said, I thought it just brought his act together. He was good in Galway. He's probably better again in Ballinrobe, and the race probably wasn't much, but he bet good seasoned horses. He ran well the last day in Roscommon behind Westport, Cove and Special Caddo. He's been called a few names in his time, but I think he'll win this here.
What price is War Correspondent?
War Correspondent is 20 to 1.
20 to 1. Okay, I'd be happy with that 20 to 1 then. I'd be happy to buy a ticket anyway. We didn't mention Enjoy the Dream there, the mare of Andy McNamara's, who's hit a nice bit of form with a 50 to 1 winner at Fairyhouse on Saturday. This trip might be a bit on the far side for her, though. I think she's proper 2-miler. Is she, Luke?
Yeah, I think so too, and just on the ratings, I think she has a bit to find.
Yeah, she probably does. Okay, we will move on to the 405, the Beth Victor Steeple Chase of Grade 3. 2 miles, 7 furlongs, 39 yards. We've seen Gold Cup winners run and win this race over recent years. We probably have the up and coming chaser of the moment, Western Fold, only a 6-year-old, won the Galway Plate, won a Grade 2 the last day. Will have to carry the Grade 2 penalty. Crow Park carries a Grade 1 penalty. He's a horse I really, really like, but I have no interest in backing him on Wednesday. I may do later on in the season. Gilligan's Voyage is here rated 68. Have we seen?
Have we seen the best of him yet? Sure. Didn't he win the Farmers race here a few years ago?
Yeah, he did. He won the race on the Friday. Yeah, the first Farmers race. Yeah. He did win it. Yeah. Maybe they thought he got the wrong entry. Slipping the finger going through the Punchestown.
Actually, we entered him now, sure, we'll hit confirm.
Not guaranteed to pick up any prize money with 700. I think the 7-year-old Hartwood getting way highest rated. Has won on single debut before at Wexford last year. He's my idea of the winner. He should be winning this. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm exact same him, she here. Like Craic Park, I just couldn't back him giving away £12 to Hartwood. She said he was good last year. He finished the season on soft ground and Ferry has pulled up. I don't think soft ground is his liking. He ran well behind Factifile, and if he runs up to that, getting weight off the 2, I think he'd be hard to beat. Like Western Fold has gone from strength to strength this year and was very good in Gorn last week, but I just think he might struggle to give Hartwood £8 here.
Okay, and the 12-year-old Barra Gilligan's Voyage to follow him home.
Yeah, 250 to 1. There's your forecast.
Come here, I have to admire them. You know, if you don't enter them, they can't win. Maybe
just
just
need
on
6
the
others
way
to
for
follow.
step up in class.
Better the race, the better he is.
Exactly. Only does enough. You know what I mean? At 12. Just
Yeah, like, it was just a shame that he couldn't get off the mark off his rating of 68 the last day. Only bet to 13 months.
Yeah, and Paddy can't even claim off him.
No. Actually, he knows he doesn't need to claim. Sure, he's getting the £12 off Craic Park. That's enough.
Anyway, good luck to connections of Barra Gilligan's Voyage. We will move on to the 4:35 Premier Weekend ticket, just €25 for limited time only. Handicap steeplechase for qualified riders, 2 miles, 7 furlongs and 39 yards. The €25 is great value, Luke. It's the Morgiana Day and it's the John Dorkin Day. It's a brilliant weekend of racing. You'll see lots of Spring Festival winners that weekend, but you'll see good winners that weekend, you know, of good races. You also have, I'm going to think, you have the Florida Pearl, you have the Craic. I think there's lots of good racing on that weekend. There's a 2 mile 6 maiden hurdle. Normally it's scoff at, but it's been won by the likes of Faheen, No More Heroes, Oscar's Well. Like a lot of really classy horses have won this 2 mile 6 furlong maiden. It's an auction race, so I think you get the nice horses running in it. So pick up your ticket, and not just that, go, you know, support the racing there because it's high quality. But this race I really struggled with, Luke. I was having a good look at Elusive Prince, 6-year-old. Had the 2 chase starts, mistakes both times, but they were both over 2 miles, and you know, we'll be stepping up and jumping a lot slower here, and see some improvement over fence. But I ended up on Order Fortuna, hurdle winner off 101, runs here off 96 over fences, has had 5 chase runs, but only one of them was in a handicap. So second time in a handicap, having one off of her hurdle mark, that's what played it for me. But you give the winner of it.
Yeah, I think you've given us the winner there.
Oh, lovely.
I'm with you here. As you're saying, he won in Galway there in his penultimate start. I was just reading some of the quotes afterwards, and Jake Cohen said he's a big boy. He looked like he was going nowhere, but he just takes a bit of time to get going. He said he's jumped fences, and he's been well over them. Like he's placed off a similar mark over hurdles over this trip at Punchestown last year. I'm sure Derek O'Connor is going to put him to sleep early. It looked like he might just struggle to get home the last day, but I'd say Derek is going to ride him pretty cold here. He won't be getting involved till late, and I think he will be the winner.
And there is your nap of the tap, Order Fortuna.
There we
go. You
have
one more race, it is the 505 Bet Victor Irish National Hunt Flat Race. 2 miles, 95 yards. I'll pass it off to you, Luke.
You know me in bumpers now. I was throwing this straight back at you.
Yeah. Okay, well, look, we want to hear what you think about bumpers and podcasts. Let us know what you think wins the bumpers, because we have absolutely no idea. But we're not finished just yet. We have a brand new segment, and I can imagine it'll be very, very popular. It is Lucky Lukey's Dundalk tips, and we can't have you on, Luke, without a nice treble or a Trixie from Dundalk. So, look, you're the man. Take it away.
Yeah, I think when you sent it, when you were on about doing this podcast, I said to you, "Oh, shoot, Dundalk's on Tuesday night as well." A little hint. It starts. This the card that was cancelled after Storm Amy a few Fridays ago. It's rerunner that.
That was a bit soft. Now they raced at Gowran that day.
Yeah, all weather racing. I'm sure they were. They're even. They had a.
Okay, I'm saying to lost Luke there, so I will. And this is not planned, folks. We haven't built up the suspense, and I can't have him back at the moment. We didn't build up the suspense, then pull the plug on him just as he's about to give you the treble. And but if he doesn't come back on, we just boom it and say, "Jesus, what a treble, Luke! Fair play to you." But let's just see, give him a moment, see if we can get him back on. No, he's gone. Just give us one more. And he's back. He's back. I was kind of hoping you wouldn't come back, Luke, so I could just say the 3 to 1 anyway. We were going to give it a big boom, but now that you're back, actually give us the winners.
All right, I'm guessing it's my go here. I actually can't hear you, but anyway, hope you can hear me. As I was saying, I liked Hero of the Hour when it was going to be on a few weeks ago, but he's drawn 17 tomorrow, so I'll happily avoid him. A few of the marketable principles have been drawn out wide. This is the first race. I was going to chance Catty Brown's Ballysack's little Mick. He ran well the last day in Nace and got dropped £3 for that. He's all speed early on. I think the 5 furlongs around the bend is going to really play to his strengths, and he's drawn in 4. I thought he could go very close at double figure price. The next one was Rising Sky in the penultimate race, the 7:45. He's been killed with draws lately. He was drawn wide here 2 runs ago and was drawn wide again in Wolverhampton the last day. He done well too. He ran a lot better than his results were for those 2 races. Patrick McGettigan takes the ride this time. He claims 7, rate of 58. Only
no.
Well to win the last.
Wait, sorry, Luke. We lost you again. Can you hear us? Right, so we've lost Luke again, and for good, I think this time. He told me the 5G was class, but he must be flat out playing FIFA on it, using it all up. So I will give you the trade him in case I think you might have missed the last one. So 5 o'clock, Ballysack's Little Mick, 7:45, Rising Sky, and 8:15, Sidiza. Can't remember the reasons that he was given, but he's back now in the background. We'll try to get him on just to say goodbye. Are you back?
Somehow.
Quick game of FIFA.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Now, I just read out the 3 tips, Luke, but you give them to us there one more time.
Ballysack's Little Mick in the first. I think you got that one okay. Rising Sky in the second last, the 7:45, I think it is. And the last of those was Sidiza in the last, she's favourite. Steps up and trip. Had a nice run the last day after a break. Looks like the step up and trip. She's been crying out for, I think, 7-4. She could be the one to send us all home. Happy tomorrow night.
Oh, lovely. And just to recap and Punchestown, Luke, obviously your strongest selection, or what is your strongest selection over the 2 days?
Really throwing a curveball at me there now.
Oh,
Who would have thought?
Well, look, we were both keen up on Aura Fortuna. Is that
yeah, I'm happy enough to go.
You're happy?
And
I think Aura Fortuna is the nap of the tap.
Yeah, and Dairy Force in the handicap tomorrow. Probably one at a decent price, I think, has a right chance.
Hardwood, I'd say, is nap of the tap material as well.
Yeah.
We might have a nap of the tap double, Hardwood and Aura Fortuna on Wednesday.
I wouldn't say Aura Fortuna is going to be a great price, so the 2 together probably.
We're not going to be short enough. Glenn Killen's obviously just going to turn up and win with 2 short of price.
Yeah.
For us to be taking a chance. I do really like the look of West of Ignis in the 405 on Tuesday. I do think County Graduate will be a danger, but around 23-1, I'm happy to play West of Ignis. Right, Luke, thanks very much. Thanks to everyone for listening, watching, joining in, liking, sharing. Please keep doing it. Obviously, we're giving up our time for this, and life is busy as well, but we do enjoy doing it. So, keep supporting us. We really appreciate it. We don't ask you to send us money or anything like that. Well, not just yet. No, I'm joking. We don't look for anything other than, you know, say hello when we're at the races, and we've enjoyed meeting you. Luke, you've had a lot of people bump into you as well, haven't you?
Hi, yes, there's been a few over the time being on, and it's always a good crack to talk to a few people at the racing.
Someone came off to us one night in Coppers, and Stephen Cluxton was in the background. And they pointed past him and said, "It's used."
We're the most important ones in Coppers that night, I think.
We were. Okay, Luke, thanks for joining us, and
thank you, and for best of luck tomorrow.
Thanks, appreciate it. Look, as I said, I don't know. He's probably going to take the run. You couldn't be confident after the layoff, but look, once he enjoys himself, that's all we really cared about. So, look, thanks everyone for tuning in. We got wrapped up 40 minutes, 2 days. Back to keep it under an hour. That Andy fella's obviously a waffler, going on and on and on, talking about breeding and stuff. Nobody wants to hear that. We just want 36 minutes. So, yeah, thanks very much. Keep liking, sharing, and subscribing, and we'll see you all again soon.